There are five words when I hear are the biggest signal that there's going to be trouble in the next 6 months. We all have signposts. We all have things that we believe are true that may be flagging us that there's trouble. In many ways, once you see one business and you start seeing it over and over again, I see patterns. And these patterns give me ideas. And when I used to teach risk and risk management as a project manager, I used to look for flags. I used to look for things that would signal that we were in trouble ahead of time so we could move. So when you identified a risk, you'd say, here's the risk. We could be over budget. What happens if we're over budget? Well, we have to do this. We'll have to reduce the scope, or we'll have to find more funding, or whatever. But the next question is, what's the flag? What's the thing that creates, that lets us know ahead of time that there's a problem? And budget's a classic. And so when you're on your fifth or sixth bit of the project and all of a sudden you're running over, and you could be running over by money or time or resources. Any one of those could raise a flag that you'll have to deal with. But these five words is a risk that says that if I hear these in the next 6 months, you're going to be in real trouble. And you know what those words are? It's the simplest words. And when I hear people say it's lonely at the top, when you say it's lonely at the top, the psychology that you're getting into is really dangerous for your business. It's really dangerous because of three things. First and foremost, that you assume you're at the top. And in all reality, we can always look to bigger areas, which means that you have created this area that you think you're at the top at. But there's always someone. And every one of the most successful people I know are still think they're at the bottom, or if they're kind of in the middle, or they're still learning, or they haven't quite figured that out yet. None of the people that are successful that I know have think, oh, I'm at the top. Because what they always see is there's always new horizons, there's always new areas, there's always new places to go. If you take a look at Bill Gates, it's a classic example. One of the wealthiest people in the world, and he's still excited about new areas and new emerging growth. And some of the things are really unique. He's excited about toilets. A multi-millionaire is excited about toilets. Go look at it. It's interesting. But what that statement, it's lonely at the top, means is that you've created this ceiling and you think you've hit it. And in all reality, your group of people, your group of influencers is not the right group. You need to get into bigger rooms. You need to be the smallest person over and over again. When you say it's lonely at the top, you're also saying that there's no one else around you. That means you haven't surrounded yourself by all of the important people that keep you going, that make sure that you're there. You know, people you trust and you know won't talk. You don't have people to bounce things off. When you start to feel lonely, that's a psychology barrier that is going to harm you in the long run. So not only are you not growing, but you don't feel like there's anyone around, and you feel like everyone is below you. That means you haven't developed community. You haven't developed organizational trust. You haven't developed a group of people who you feel safe around. And when you don't feel safe, you retreat in. You start to become reactive and things go wrong. So the minute you hear that sentence, that's a warning sign that you need to get out. You need to create new community. You need to find new people to be excited about. You need to find new areas of interest. You need to get on the growth section again, opposed to stagnation, because that mindset is stagnation, and that's going to get you in trouble. In 6 months from then, that statement, you're going to be in trouble. And I've seen it time and time again. And it's not a question of them not being right. It's when those words come out of anyone's mouth, that's an emergency sign. The lights should start flashing and people should start going. So if you start thinking about that, if you start thinking it's lonely at the top, here are the three things you need to do immediately. You need to go find bigger rooms. You need to find people that are twice the size of you. And if you've got to pay for it, and if you've got to beg, borrow, or steal, you've got to get in with those people to change the mindset, to find out that you're not at the top, you're somewhere in the middle. And most of the time you find you're at the bottom. And that's just a question of you getting comfortable in larger and larger situations. That's why there are retreats and there are places that cost $25,000, $100,000 to get in that room, because the mindset in there is so much bigger and so much more interesting. They want to make sure that you can make it. Second of all, you need to find a community that you can trust. You may need to get some therapy. You may need to get some support. You may need to find individuals who you can trust, build relationships that you can trust. I have 5 best friends that I can talk about anything to anywhere. They're all in different areas. Some are substantially more successful than me. Some are equally successful than me, but we're all able to trust and talk to them. And if you've got a problem, there's 5 people that are willing to work with you. It's a great blessing. And finally, you need to start building that community and building that trust around you so that you feel like there is community. There are places to be, and go recognize that this is a real issue, admit to it and move on. In 6 months, you want to look back and go, boy, that was a great wake up call, instead of, boy, I wish I'd listened. Understand this happens to all of us. We all get into our dark days, but what we have to do is recognize it and move forward. If we don't, we've got a massive issue. So as soon as you hear that small phrase, it's lonely at the top, understand you need to take action. If that's a friend, if that's a colleague, or if that's yourself, move, get different. Understand that it is just a mindset that you can change. It's going to take some work. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to be where you want to be, but you get back on that growth edge. Get back on being excited about what's going on. Get back on learning from new people, getting community together so that you can grow, not only yourself, but your company and your ideas. Go ahead and do it. It's really hard, but worth the effort. And it's much better to catch a flag and move on and not have to worry about the oncoming issues. I hope this helps. If these are words that you've said to yourself, reach out to some friends, talk to a therapist, actually get some help. Understand that you're not alone. And if you believe you're alone and everywhere else, you're not alone, because I believe in you. I hope this helps.